I'm Ryan Milton from Team Flex, and today we're going to take a look at what could be the Fit Model Division 2025. Okay, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. I'm giving you updates all the time. If you don't know what the heck Fit Model is, that's exactly why you should be subscribing. Okay, so Fit Model's brand new division introduced by the NPC and the IFBB, and it's basically bringing us back to 10 years or so ago now at this point, which is crazy to say, bikini. So what you're looking at on the screen right here is the 2015 Arnold Classic bikini. Okay, so Fit Model Division comes out and the rules have been announced. However, no athletes have walked on any stage yet. But our current criteria example, the standard, if you will, is Ashley Kaltwasser from that year. They're using photos of her to kind of post on the website to say this is more of the look we're going for. The official rule states that they're looking for less muscle and less condition than current today's bikini, okay? So realistically, it's a diversion back in some ways to the bikini look of 10 years ago, okay? And so it's a very interesting time for a lot of competitors out there, going to bring a lot of new competitors to stage that look at current today's bikini and say that's too muscular, too lean. And also some of you bikini competitors out there right now may be thinking of making the switch to Fit Model and or looking to come back now to do Fit Model, right? So let's talk a little bit about what Fit Model could actually look like. This is on the screen what you are seeing, the Arnold Classic from that year. And we have some familiar faces here, right? So Ashley K, obviously everybody kind of knows her. She's taken second at Olympia this year in bikini, and this year she won the Arnold Classic. Over here we have Justine. She's another prominent competitor from that time. Don't really see too much of her these days. And then we have Janet. She's a Olympia winner and somebody that we see kind of coming back on the scene. And this is our top three from the Arnold Classic that year. So this is bikini of that year. And those of you that don't realize how far bikini has come and how fast, well, maybe this is kind of snapping you back in time a bit to this look in this era. But this is the look and the era that could be coming back with Fit Model Division. So if you're looking at this and you like this and you're like, wow, I kind of like that look for bikini, I wish that it was still this way, Fit Model might be the spot for you to look at either moving from bikini into or starting your competition journey and getting into it, right? And they are going to be fully bringing this on board. It's going to be at many of the events. I think it's kind of up to promoters if they have it or not. But we're seeing mass rollout. I've already seen promoters announcing it. It's coming to stage. It's coming out. And there's going to be, Fit Model Pros up and coming as well. And we will see this at Olympia eventually. So this is a very exciting time for all of you out there. New division. And also an exciting time for anybody currently competing. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews about this. A lot of people are kind of looking at it in the wrong light. But, if you look at it in the wrong light, and you don't think like this is a good addition to the sport, that's because it's not for you. It's not a division for you to be competing in. It's to bring new people in, or it's to bring people that don't want to be fitting to the current standard of bikini in to have a place to compete. So that's definitely an interesting idea overall. But let's actually look at these physiques and talk a little bit about them, okay? So here we have Ashley. She's the winner. Keep in mind this is Arnold Classic, so very high level pro competition. It's right up there with Olympia. This would be, in that case, best in the world at that time in 2015. And will be again in Fit Model. If Fit Model turns out to look anything like this at the Arnold level or the Olympia level, that would again be the best in the world. So we will see a different level, into the NPC and so on and so forth. And I'll try to do some videos on that. I'll see if I can get some, old school content, old school photos from NPC competitions and things that we can look at. But realistically, this is, what would be the peak standard, so to speak, right? So if you like this look, this would be the look that would get you a pro card and get you, beyond that onto top placings on a pro stage, like Arnold Classic or Olympia. So a lot of very exciting things. Now, let's take a look here. So in bikini at the time and what will be Fit Model now, they still had that roundness and that shape to the shoulders, and we can see that exemplified by all three of these athletes on there. The rules officially state for Fit Model small roundness to shoulders. They pretty much state the same for bikini, but we do note Fit Model muscle is going to be less than it is in current bikini. So if you have bigger delts, Fit Model is going to be less delts, less size in those delts, less size in your shoulders, in other words, on stage. So we can see that here. They all have clear upper body development. You can tell, I mean, nobody's walking around with shoulders like this without training them. And we can also see into the bicep and the tricep here that all of these athletes have these areas as well. This proves, you know, that they're training with muscle. So I've seen a lot of mixed reactions from people saying that, you know, the fit model division, you don't actually have to train for. That's not true. Okay, this is a very competitive division, no doubt, especially when you're talking about getting to the Arnold and the Olympia. Like, this is just flashing back in bikini is really what we're talking about with fit model, okay? And when we look at the shoulders, you can see that development. However, it's less in current today's bikini, right? And that's the whole point. That's the whole maneuver that judges are making with this. Another place for people to compete if you don't want to go to those levels as of today. Looking at midsections, right? The notes in the official fit model rules state flat stomach, you know, conditioned core, not overly lean. And that's what we will see on all three of these athletes here. We can see obliques, we can see, you know, some soft lines into the abdominals maybe, a little bit of rectus abdominis, but not too much, not hard six packs, not deep cuts, not striations and graininess and things of that nature. So again, pretty on par fit model type conditioning, at least based on the rules right now. Look, and you'll note the posing is different as well. We didn't talk about the posing yet, but the posing's clearly different. This diverts back to the old classic bikini pose. This is the bikini pose of that time. That's going to be the fit model front pose. So again, it's just really a pull back in a lot of ways to what we were doing, what we were coaching for, you know, years back. And so we can see here now, looking lower body, all athletes are going to still have glutes. You don't see glutes as much in this front pose, though. You're just going to get a little bit of an inkling, you know, just in the side there. Justine's doing a little bit of a different pose in this stance, so we can see a little bit more of that development. However, the main focus becomes then the legs, where you can see the quads are developed. You can see, you know, development in the lower body. These ladies are not skipping legs, and as we know, you know, they never did. They don't now. You still have to train. It's just a different criteria at that time, and it's going to be a different criteria again now for fit model. So lower body development is key. You still want to have that density, but you'll notice we don't have a lot of deep cuts or you know, striations or separations in the quad. We see that with today's bikini competitors. Some we see more, you know, separations, more differences in the muscle groups. In this, it's a softer look. There's still that muscle, but it's that softer level of condition. So now let's take a look from the back here. As we know, you know, I say it on this channel constantly, and if you're new here and you're liking this, subscribe, hang out. We got a lot more coming on fit model and other divisions. I say it all the time that, you know, bikini's one from the back, wellness one from the back, figures one from the back, fit model going to be one from the back. You better believe that, all right? We're going to see this, you know, division taking form, taking shape, and all those athletes, you know, are going to be scored in that front pose and then the back pose, okay? They even note specifically not to be doing the transition poses or anything in this division. So differentiating a little bit, because we do see transition poses in bikini right now. This, they're going to want you to just get front, back, get right off, you know, that's what they're looking at, front and back. So here's what we see, okay? We can get just a little bit of that shoulder shape on all three of these ladies here, and that, again, is very on par with this criteria where they want you to have just this little bit of shoulder roundness. That development is there. You can see it, and obviously what everybody's going to focus on in back pose and bikini and fit model and even in wellness is going to be primarily lower body. So what we'll see here, judges specifically note, okay, no glute ham tie-in separation. So you shouldn't see that solid separation like we see in bikini today, where it's that glute ham tie-in. We see it on all the top pros, right? They're not wanting to see it. Keep in mind, these would be the top pros of that era, that 2015 time. Placing top 3 at the Arnold Classic is something very few people ever do in any division, and they don't have that super hard tie-in, right? They do have inklings of a tie-in, right? And the official rules state no visible tie-in. The way you guys got to understand, the way judges look at tie-in is different than how we look at it. If you're looking at it like this as an athlete or even as a coach, you're like, that is some form of a tie-in. It's not really how the judges see it, right? When judges are analyzing a tie-in, they're really looking at, like, where's that separation? Okay, how tight is that? How much separation is occurring? How much of that is muscle development versus the, you know, actual lean body fat? So they're seeing it a lot different than you're seeing it. So if this looks like a tie-in to you, this would be, you know, not necessarily a tie-in on a bikini pro stage, okay? Like, this would not be scored favorably, in other words, at a top-level bikini event right now, because that's not not the criteria any longer, and the criteria now for fit model will be like this, okay, at the top level. So we see, you know, overall good glute shape, that's all there, that shape is there, the upper glute, the overall glute development, hamstrings, quads, you can clearly see the lower body muscle, you see it on all three athletes. There are no hard tie-ins, hard separations here, and that's the main differentiating factor for the lower body. Judges also note in the rules, in other words, that, you know, they want to see the glutes be firm. They shouldn't be holding extra body fat is what that means, right? When you're walking and things, they should be firm. Everything should be there. It's muscle, okay? And it's really this kind of a look. You know, if anybody has more of a tie-in on this kind of top three, it'd be Janet. And she's kind of got, you know, right on the cusp of having one that would be more on par with today's bikini. She's also placing third at this event. So that's a pretty key indicator. Again, even at that time, judges were more focused on the criteria of like Ashley's tie-in in this lineup, where it is softer. You can see obviously it's muscle. You see obviously the hamstring, the glute muscle, but you're not seeing that super, you know, separation like we do see today in bikini. Let's move now into our fourth and our fifth. Ashley in the middle, we'll leave her there. We have India over here in fourth, and then we have over here fifth, Stephanie, okay? And this is where the criteria can start to exemplify a little bit more. Keep in mind, this would be like if I was showing you guys today's Arnold Classic, today's Olympia. You know, I'm showing you Laura Lee in the lineup. This is, you know, obviously not everybody at the amateur level or national level or any level really looks like Laura Lee. I mean, Laura Lee looks like Laura Lee, and at the top, you know, 5 at Olympia is pretty close, but the point is, you know, most people competing in NPC and even into the IFBB at the lower level of the IFBB are going to be competing at a level that doesn't even look like this for Fit Model, right? So this is going to be the peak look of Fit Model. I just want to keep reiterating that for those of you out there that are like, oh, this still looks pretty hard. I mean, it seems like it would be a lot of work to get here, and it was definitely a lot of work at this time for these athletes, and it still would be for anybody today. But just keep in mind, we're looking at some of the best in the world at the time, and that's really how it goes. So again, we'll see with our two new athletes in the lineup here, still that same shoulder shape, old school classic posing, not too hard in the abdominals, a little bit of oblique lines, muscle development, lower body. We're going to see this across the board again, you know, right there. It's just all there. It's a very, very streamlined look at that time. Everybody kind of had that. Everybody pulled that off. And in some ways, maybe that's why judges are bringing it into play for this year, right? Like, that might be why we are going and bringing Fit Model in, is because it's a much more attainable look for a lot of people, which means more people will compete, and they're giving new opportunities for those people to be able to compete, and that's a great thing. So looking here from the back, again, you'll see the full glutes, a little bit of shoulder development, and we will see just a, you know, just this slight inkling of what could become a tie-in again, but it's not a full tie-in. It's not like the today's bikini tie-in, and that's the main difference. You will still have to have that level of conditioning, right? Because obviously, if you had a lot more body fat, you wouldn't see any of that. You're not going to have the firm glutes, in other words, as the rules state. You would have, you know, not firm glutes, the glutes that jiggle when you walk, glutes that jiggle when you do your back pose, all this stuff that would be unfavorable. When you're in this division, you're going to need to have that muscle and have that firmness and have that all showcased through. And what we'll see as we kind of move out is a little bit less glute development overall for our fourth and our fifth, and that's probably the main key. So again, those athletes out there that think you're not going to have to work out or train hard or do anything to get on these stages, you're going to be wrong. That's not the case. I mean, this is really going to be a very good division for anybody who thought the current bikini look was a bit too extreme, didn't want to get that big, didn't want to get that lean, or bikini competitors that don't like the look that is becoming bikini of today, right? And they want to kind of, you know, shift into this look. They love that look. Or those of you old school kind of bikini competitors, if we can even call that, from 10 years ago, whatever, that stopped competing because the look was getting pushed too far for you. Well, now you got a place to come back, and a lot of them are, right? So very interesting time for bodybuilding, very interesting time for the women's divisions. We are coaching for Fit Model, so if anybody has questions on that, let me know. I'm happy to tell you more. We have a free coaching trial. I can show you how to train like a Fit Model. I do have a video on this channel talking about my recommendations, my suggestions for training for Fit Model. And again, this is all my speculation, my insight, my idea of what could become. We will not know exactly how these stages end up planning and playing out until it happens. So 2025, a big year for women's bodybuilding regardless, and you better believe we're going to be covering it on this channel constantly. Subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share this video if this gave you insight, if this cleared some things up, gave you a little bit better of an idea of what to to expect. Share it and comment. Let me know. Are you going to try fit model division? Are you going to move from bikini into fit model? Are you somebody new who's never done this? You're going to go into fit model, or are you one of those people that do not like it? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching. Coach Ryan is out.